It's okay.
If anyone hasn't noticed, all of these coffins have markers on them. They're all they're either yellow, and they're from the ones I saw were yellow and blue. And I actually went inside the facility that was near there, and they have spray painted. They have spray painted the dates each time that they come back and put another upload of coffins.
Yes, listen, you got to get this, sir. Yes, we're aware of that. But yes, this is for the CDC during mass plagues that they will probably release themselves, which they've been caught doing before. That's why we say they've got the MO, they do it, they're into killing us, they're into eugenics. Listen, we'll put you on hold. Give me your name and number. If you want me to give you a FedEx number to overnight us that video, we will get it. We will upload it, I guess by next Monday or maybe even this weekend. Or you can upload it yourself and we'll link to it. But please write us a description. God bless you, and I appreciate your call. Bob Chapman, I try to go through a lot of calls, but every call seems to be, like that, and most of them pan out to be accurate calls. Legitimate, pretty wild stuff, huh? It is amazing, Bob. You ready to take another call, Bob?
It's wonderful that these people are bringing the information, and it's just like, and you experience the same thing I do, all day long, all night long, from all over the world. I'm getting articles and videos and all kinds of stuff that I would have never gotten otherwise. I can't research everything, and it's like the world out there, there are enough people that are on a bombing mission sending me this stuff, and I'm sure you're getting it like that as well. And, I run it twice a week, and you run it on the program, and I think it's fantastic.
What I can't stand, because I wish none of this was true, I want to have just a good life and enjoy myself, but 99% of the time, what they're calling in with ends up being true. That's what keeps freaking me out, is that I've already been sent by a truck driver the information. I'm already describing what he's seen in Alabama, and he's gone and gotten even more. And it's just, at some point, it's amazing. Let's take another call here. Let's talk to Scott in Illinois. Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, Alex, I finally found something to disagree with you on, but it's a mistake that a lot of people make. From my understanding, 1776, the Tea Party, was not about taxation without representation. It was about the East India Company being allowed to bring in cheap tea and thereby eliminating the local market for tea. So it'd be more about globalization, not about taxation without representation.
It was about a whole bunch of stuff, but they chose the tea because of the tea tax.
Yeah, because the East Indian Company was being allowed to ship in tea without paying that tax and way cheap, where it would undercut everybody in the local market.
So it was corruption by the globalist, and that same imperial model where they would use mercantilism to deindustrialize or keep certain nations unindustrialized while keeping the center of the empire being the only place with machine tooling and that had everything. Bob, you want to break down mercantilism?
Well, very simply, it's what we see today is free trade and globalization. And they move in and they corner a market and produce and bring the goods throughout the world, undercutting everybody. The United States, when they first started between 1790 and 1800, they had free trade. And it just about destroyed the country, and because of British mercantilism. And they would be shipping all kinds of stuff that they were making, say, in China, into the United States, and of course they couldn't compete. They had a higher standard of wages, etc., just like they are now, and that was abandoned, and that began the beginnings of the tariffs that were put on goods for all those years up until 1962, when they started to phase them out, and even more so in 1986 when GATT's name was changed from the General Accounting, Trades and Tariffs, or whatever it was, to the World Trade Organization. And, all you have to do is, like you have, Alex, and I, go back in history, spot mercantilism, and bring it into the current day. And that's exactly what they do. They're doing the same thing over again. And only this time, I believe the impetus behind it is not only profit, but the destruction of the economies of the United States, Canada, and Western Europe, because they are the strongest financially and economically in the world. And if they go down economically and financially, the rest of the world will go down with them. And then people will be in a position, these Illuminists hope, that they'll be forced to accept world domination in world government.
And the policies of one-child policies and control that the globalists all hold near and dear. I concur. And the IMF is chortling, going, oh, it's too bad. 90 more million people will go into deep poverty from just being poor middle class. Oh, we're so upset, when their own internal documents that have been leaked out that we've covered here are admitting they're engineering all of this, waging war. Explain to people, Bob, why the true elites of the planet want everybody poor under them.
Well, it's a slave society. It's as simple as that. You go back to the pharaohs or any of the kings and dictators through time, you'll find that that's the way they like things. People suppressed, and it's so sociopathic. And we get plenty of sociopaths in our own societies throughout the world today. And they happen to be people who believe in world government for the most part. But they want a finite number of people on the earth to do all the jobs, and they're going to tell them what to do because they know better what's better for them than they do. And so that's what they're up to.
That's right. Ted Turner says we should only be allowed to have one child and then have a license to do it. But at the same time, he had 5 children, owns dozens of houses, literally dozens of yachts and airplanes. And when he's been asked about that, he says, well, I'm different. So, see, he says he needs to go, commit suicide. If I'm supposedly need to go kill myself, he needs to go first, him first. With his stupid little mustache and all of his baloney. He's got up and given speeches at the press club calling us useless feeders, Hitler quotes, and he funds the vaccines for little black kids because he cares about them so much. I mean, come on, folks. These people are sickening, disgusting degenerates and the enemies of free humanity. They don't think of themselves connected to the rest of humanity or to goals or space exploration or future generations. They don't even care about their own kids. They're all about themselves now. They are the most greedy, self-serving, control freak people out there, and we've got to wrest control of the system from them, don't we, Bob?
We absolutely have to. Otherwise, we're going to be living on our needs for the rest of our lives, and for generations to come, they will be subjected. They, the people of the earth, whoever they may be, are going to be subjected to this, and 50 to 90% of the people on the earth today will not be here in the future because they don't want them around.
And they're on record constantly saying it. I think we should forcibly abort the children. By the way, I care about black kids. I have a free shot I want to give them. You wonder why your country in Africa has 46% HIV infection. Oh, I don't know. Hi, I'm Ted Turner. I care about you. Please, I'm a eugenicist. And Bill Gates, my friend, whose dad is a known eugenicist and heads up Planned Parenthood and constantly talks about too many people. He's got shots for you. Oh, you can't put 2 and 2 together, can you? I mean, come on, people. What does it take, Bob? But there's that horror level. People can't admit this to themselves, can they?
It's too diabolical for the average human mind to contemplate. And the only thing that rolls them around is, when they snatch one of their kids and put a bullet in his head, or they see all of this horrible war going on in their backyard, or when there's no food to eat, or when their house has been foreclosed, the vehicle's taken, and they lost their job and they're living under a bridge. This is what has to happen for people, most of the people in society, to move.
Look,
and they will move as soon as their belly's empty.
But the globalists want to do that at their time to herd all the empty-belly people against the middle class, calling them the elite. So we've got to be ready for that. It's very simple,
well,
folks.
It'll take all forms before we get there. And, what we have to look is at the mission and what is at the end of what we're trying to accomplish. And we're going to make a lot of mistakes along the way, people mistakes, institutional mistakes. But it'll all come out in the end. But it's going to be very painful. It'll be financially and economically disastrous, and in each country, there's a good chance half the people who are alive now will not be alive then.
That's happy news, but that is what the globalists are doing. Look, they want to control the future. They're monopoly men. They want to control your breeding. That's why all these movies and TV shows go, we should license having children. And they show you lots of examples why on TV of, how that's legitimate. Look at all the conditioning. It's everywhere. They want to dominate and control the future. They want it all for themselves. This is so horrible. The good old folks at New Silver Solution. And the website is supernaturalsilver.com. Supernaturalsilver.com. This is something that kills bacteria, viruses, you name it, well documented. They've got it down to a super small nano-sized particle. Supernaturalsilver.com. Check them out at Infowars.com. Supernaturalsilver.com.